Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to the quiz based on English language and literature. The first question: what is the earliest surviving English prose work? The Laws of Ethelbert I of Kent. What is Ball's Leech book known for? It is a 10th century book with a herbal and surgical cures. What is the Old English word for moon? Mona. Who was Birthforth of Ramsay? Birthforth of Ramsay was a monk who wrote in Old English on mathematics and rhetoric. What was the purpose of Birthforth's computers? It outlined the application of arithmetic to calendars, feasts, and tide tables. What does Jafra mean in Old English? Jafra means companion. Which case was used for the subject in Old English? Nominative case. What is the Old English word for sun? Sunne. What were the titles of Ælfric's proto-scientific works? Hexameron and Interrogations Sing Wulfy. What did Ælfric's grammar and a glossary help students learn? Latin and Old French. What does Gayfo mean in Old English? Gift. What is the late West Saxon literary standard also called? The Winchester Standard. When did Old English lose its literary importance? After the Norman conquest of 1066. What was the Old English word for sky? Hairfon. What are the three main stages of Old English? Prehistoric Old English from 450 to 650. Then early Old English, that is 650 to 900. And a late Old English, that is 900 to 1150. Why is prehistoric Old English mostly reconstructed? No literary records survive except limited epigraphic evidence. Which case in Old English showed a possession? Genitive case. Which period marked the transition from Old English to Middle English? Late Old English period, that is from 900 to 1150. What is the Wonders of the East? It is a text in the Novel Codex featuring a remarkable map and illustrations. What was the Old English word for star? Steora. Which famous manuscript also contains Beowulf? The Novel Codex. What medical text is a translation of Apollonius' work Herbarium. Medicina de quadrupedibus. What does Lacunga contain? Lacunga contains many charms and incantations. What are the corresponding periods for the Scots language? Early Scots before 1450, Middle Scots 1450 to 1700, and then Modern Scots, that is after 1700. What legal text did Alfred compile? Dombock. What is Textus Rufensis? Textus Rufensis is a 12th century collection of Old English laws. What is the Old English word for water? Water. What was Jaffa about? Jaffa was about the duties of a reeve on a large manor estate. What is the Ruthwell Monument known for? The Ruthwell Monument features a poem similar to the Dream of the Rood. What is the Old English word for fire? Fire. Which artifact contains Old English inscriptions and is linked to King Alfred? The Alfred Jewel. What are the periods of English after Old English? Middle English period from 1150 to 1500. Early Modern English period from 1500 to 1650. Then Modern English or Late Modern English period, that is after 1650. What is the Old English word for day? Dag. What is the soul's address to the body? It is a text from 1150 to 1175 showing early Middle English features. Which 12th century poem has been classified as Anglo-Saxon and Middle English? The Grave. Which chronicle continued into the 12th century? The Peterborough Chronicle. Who was the tremulous hand? A 12th or 13th century scribe known for glozing Old English texts. What did the tremulous hand mainly do? Added Latin glosses to Old English texts. Which scholars collected Old English manuscripts during the Reformation? Lawrence Noel, Matthew Parker, Robert Bruce Cotton, and Humphrey Wanley. Who wrote the first Old English dictionary? William Sumner, that is Dictionarium Saxonica Latino Anglicum, published in 1659. Which 19th century scholar worked on an Anglo-Saxon dictionary? Joseph Bosworth. Who completed Joseph Bosworth's dictionary in 1898? Thomas Northcote Toller. Who updated Bosworth Toller's dictionary in 1972? Alistair Campbell. What was the focus of Old English scholarship in the 19th century? Germanic and pagan roots. Which famous scholar's lecture influenced Old English literary theory? J.R.R. Tolkien's work Beowulf, The Monsters and the Critics, published in 1936. Which sound in Old English was lost in modern English pronunciation? The guttural sound h, that is h, like in half for laugh. What is the Old English word for world? World. What type of a language was Old English? Synthetic or analytic? Old English was synthetic language. Did Old English have regional variations? Yes, it varied by place and it developed regional dialects. What Old English word meant enemy and it later became fiend? Fiend.